Daniel hadn't dreamed of being a waiter. Once years ago, he had dreamed of becoming an architect. He loved drawing buildings, imagining skylines, believing that one day he would design something that lasted longer than he did. But dreams are fragile things when life keeps demanding rent, groceries, and medical bills. After his father passed away suddenly, Daniel became the only support for his mother, Maria, who was battling chronic illness. College turned into night shifts turned into full-time work, and before he knew it, his dreams were folded away like old sketches at the bottom of a drawer. At Miller's Corner Grill, Daniel worked double shifts most days. The tips were inconsistent, the customers often rude, and the manager, Rick, constantly reminded him that waiters were replaceable. Still, Daniel showed up every day with the same quiet determination. He greeted customers with a gentle voice, remembered regulars' orders, and most importantly, he smiled. Not the fake smile trained by customer service manuals, but a real one. A soft, warm smile that made people feel seen, even if just for a moment. Most customers didn't notice. One rainy Tuesday afternoon, the diner was nearly empty. Outside, water streaked down the windows, blurring the city into gray lines. Daniel was wiping down a table when the bell above the door rang. A woman stepped inside, shaking rain from her umbrella. She looked to be in her late 40s, wearing a simple navy coat and sensible shoes. Nothing about her screamed wealth or importance. She chose a booth near the window and sat quietly, staring out at the rain. Daniel walked over with a menu and that same gentle smile. "Welcome in," he said. "Can I start you off with some coffee? It's fresh." She looked up, surprised, as if she hadn't expected kindness. "Yes," she said softly. "That would be nice. Thank you." Her name, written on the credit card later, would be Evelyn Brooks, but at that moment she was just another customer. She ordered a simple meal, soup and grilled cheese, and sat there for a long time. Daniel noticed she barely touched her food. Her eyes were red, not from the rain but from crying. The diner grew busier as the lunch rush approached, but Daniel kept glancing at her booth. He knew that look. He'd seen it in the mirror too many times. It was the look of someone carrying more than they could say. When he refilled her coffee, he hesitated, then gently asked, "Is everything okay with the food?" She shook her head. "The food is fine. I'm just having a day." Daniel nodded, understanding more than she knew. He didn't pry. He simply smiled again, warm, genuine, and said, "I hope it gets better." It was such a small moment. Less than 10 seconds. But something in Evelyn's expression changed. Her shoulders relaxed just a bit. "Thank you," she said. "You have a kind smile." Daniel laughed softly. "I've been told it's my best feature." When she finished, Evelyn left exact change on the table. No tip. Daniel noticed, but he didn't feel angry. Maybe she needed that money more than he did. As she stood to leave, she paused, turned back and said, "I hope life is good to you." Daniel smiled again. "I hope the same for you." Then she was gone. Days turned into weeks. Life continued exactly as it always had. Daniel worked, worried about bills, and spent evenings at his mother's bedside, holding her hand while machines beeped softly in the background. Her condition worsened, and the medical bills piled up faster than Daniel could manage. One night he sat alone at the kitchen table, staring at overdue notices, feeling the weight of failure pressing down on his chest. He wondered if kindness even mattered in a world like this. Then one morning Rick called him into the office. Daniel's heart sank. He was sure he was about to be fired. "There's someone here asking for you," Rick said, confused. "Says it's important." Daniel walked out into the diner and froze. Standing near the counter was Evelyn, but she looked different. Her coat was tailored, her posture confident, and behind her stood 2 men in suits. The entire diner seemed to quiet as she smiled, this time a bright, certain smile. "Daniel," she said warmly, "I was hoping you were working today." He blinked. "Hi, Evelyn, right?" She nodded, clearly pleased that he remembered. "I owe you an explanation," she said. "And a thank you." They sat at a corner booth while the suits waited nearby. Evelyn took a deep breath. "The day I met you," she began, "I had just come from a meeting where I was forced to step down as CEO of my own company. A company I built from nothing. The board didn't believe in me anymore. I felt invisible. Disposable." Daniel listened, stunned. I walked into this diner thinking my entire life had